Want to bet your favorite horse but can't make it to the racebook? South Point Casino's Racebook has the answer. Come in and sign up for the Nevada Racebook mobile app. For just a $50 minimum deposit, you'll have the racebook right at your fingertips, no matter where you are in Nevada. It's convenient, fun, and easy to use. When you do have time to visit, South Point Casino is the perfect place to be. Our racebook is completely separate from the sportsbook and totally dedicated to the horse player. With 52 overhead TVs, free Wi-Fi, and cocktail service. Bring your tablet or smartphone and plug into the USB ports to look up your favorite handicapping website without draining your battery. Want to wager from your seat? No problem with our IPTs. Just sign up, make a deposit, and you're off to the races. Plus, you'll earn points for dining, hotel, movies, entertainment, and the spa just by using the club card when wagering. Whether you want to come in or play from the comfort of your home, South Point Casino's Racebook has you covered.
Born from the tragedy of 9/11, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation is committed to helping our nation's heroes and their families in their darkest hours. When a first responder or veteran doesn't return home and leaves behind a young family, Tunnel to Towers supports them. The foundation pays off their mortgages and lifts their financial burdens through their Gold Star Family Home Program and Fallen First Responder Home Program. Through their Smart Home Program, catastrophically injured veterans and first responders regain their independence with a mortgage-free home, specially adapted to meet their unique physical needs. Tunnel to Towers also provides housing assistance and services to our nation's homeless veterans through their Homeless Veteran Program. They are helping more than 2,000 in 2023 because no veteran should be living on the streets of the country they signed up to protect. Join Tunnel to Towers on its mission to do good and never forget 9/11 or the sacrifices made by our nation's heroes. Donate $11 a month at T2T.org. That's T2T.org.
Celebrating over 2 decades of consecutive broadcasts on the great game of horse racing in Las Vegas, the Race Day Las Vegas show thanks all of our listeners and sponsors for your appreciated support.
The following is a Race Day Las Vegas presentation in association with Siraco Productions Limited on the Race Day Las Vegas Radio Network.
Live from the gaming capital of the world, time for Race Day Las Vegas, covering the sport of kings with a Las Vegas perspective. Now to the race desk with your host, Ralph Siraco.
From the backstretch to the turf club, at the racebooks and on the internet, to all horse players around the world, a good morning. All righty. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Race Day Las Vegas radio program. Is everybody rejuvenated now and re-rested and all that good stuff? You got all your energy back after the big, long week between Christmas and New Year's? I know I did. Of course, we were off yesterday, a day that we normally are on. But now we'll be back to our regular schedule here at the Race Day Las Vegas radio program, Wednesday through Sunday mornings at 7 a.m. Pacific time. That's our schedule. A regular schedule, back to it now. We welcome you to this Thursday Race Day Las Vegas show. It's almost Friday, almost Friday Race Day show. We come to you live and direct from the gaming capital of the world right here at the South Point Studio Station. That's right, South Point Studios right here at the South Point Hotel Casino, of course, on the fabulous Strip. We're all kind of recovering from the big New Year's Eve celebration and all that, but we're getting ready for the Super Bowl coming up here in Las Vegas, so we really don't have a day to rest. There's big action going on here and big events coming here in Las Vegas every weekend, and so we welcome you to the show today. We come to you, of course, not only live and direct from the South Point Studio, where you go to South Point Studio, you go to YouTube, go to South Point Studio and hit subscribe. It's free. We appreciate it if you do that. We want all our listeners to get out there and get tied on that. But we also come to you through the radio station, our radio outlet here, at Sports Talk 1400 AM and 107.1 FM, and then all of our streaming, racedaylasvegas.com, .vegas, .world, .global. And, of course, if you have an iPhone or your Android, we're covered on that, too. You just go to your station, your app, I should say. Go to get your app, the KSHP app that's you can get on your phone, and put it on there, and you can listen to us on your iPhone or your Android, and, of course, anywhere you get podcasting. Simply put, however, wherever, whenever. Welcome to the Race Day Show for this Thursday. Now that we're into the year 2024, and we're here on already the fourth day of this first month, this fresh month of 2024, it is time, I guess, to take a look at what the finals of last year, for example, leading jockey, leading trainer, etc. Well, all I can tell you is this, that the leading jockey, Irad Ortiz Jr., again, after setting the earnings record last year, he set another earnings record this year, or I should say last year. I'm still getting used to putting 24 on my checks now. But in 2023, his horses earned $39,192,585, eclipsing the previous mark by over almost $2 million that he set in 2022. He led all jockeys in wins with 366 for the seventh consecutive year, and also had the most seconds at 269 and thirds at 248. So this guy was all over the place doing his thing throughout the year from day 1 to day 31 in December. Irad Ortiz Jr., the top jockey. Now, as far as some of the other categories, as far as the top earning horse last year, of course, it was the Breeders' Cup Classic winner, White Barrio. He had just 3 wins out of 5 starts, but banked $3,883,800. His win percentage was 60%. The Kentucky Derby winner, Mage, had 7 starts with 2 wins. One of the most important, of course, the most important was the Kentucky Derby with 2 seconds as well, banking over $2.5 million. Finishing third in the earnings list was Up to the Mark. That winner, he had 5 wins out of 7 starts. It was a very good turf horse, Up to the Mark. And then Idiomatic, Augustine Rodin, the Irish bred that won the Breeders' Cup Turf. Art Collector, Proxy, Cody's Wish, and Arcangelo and Pretty Mischievous round out the top 10 as far as the horses are concerned. And as far as the trainers are concerned, well, Brad Cox led the trainers. He had 264 winners out of 953 starts. That's a win percentage of 28, and he was in the money 60% of the time with his horses. He banked over $30,700,000. Steve Asmussen was second with wins of 375. Now, he had more wins than Cox, but his earnings was less. He earned $27,163,000 and change. Todd Pletcher finished third, and Chad Brown was fourth. Bill Mott was fifth, and what a year Bill Mott had. Michael Maker was seventh. Mark Cassey was sixth. Michael Maker was seventh. Bob Baffert finished eighth in the overall standings. Brendan Walsh was ninth, and Jamie Ness finished 10th as far as the trainers. And following the Irad Ortiz Jr.'s big record breaker, Tyler Gaffleone was second on the list, Flavian Pratt third, Luis Saez fourth, Jose Ortiz, his brother, Irad's, finished fifth in the earnings title. Joel Rosario, Javier Castellano, Laurent Garreau, Manny Franco, and John R. Velasquez rounded out the top 10. This all from last year. And the deadline for voting for the Eclipse Award for the very fortunate people that can cast a vote for the Eclipse Awards, which is the Academy Awards of horse racing, ends today. I put in my ballot yesterday. We're going to talk a little bit about those Eclipse Awards with our handicappers today as well. As far as the weather, well, I can tell you it's cold here, and it's going to get colder. The forecast for the rest of the week here in Las Vegas, we're going to get in areas surrounding Las Vegas and Las Vegas proper, we might get to the freezing mark overnight. And then in the daytimes, we're not going to get past the mid-50s for the daytimes. But we had some rain that went through here yesterday and the night before. But that rain all cleared out, and it's going to be clear and cold, just clear and cold here in Las Vegas for the week. And as far as across the nation for today, anyhow, all that rain and everything is now moved over New Mexico. We got another storm brewing with a lot of rain in the great Northwest, Oregon and Washington. And of course, the East Coast is bracing for possible snow by the end of the week. Right now, it's just looks kind of a lot of rain and possible snow even now across the Northeast. So we'll wait and see about that. That could affect some of the racing conditions on the East Coast. Today we have with us Jonathan Hardoon, of course. John Lendl will be checking in as well as Jerry Jackwitz. Rich Eng has the day off, but he did a yeoman's job for us during the football season. We got one more week left in the NFL, and of course the championship game for the National Football Championship in college, which will feature Michigan and Washington. That'll happen on Monday. So we got a lot to do. Might as well get start doing it right away. Looking ahead to this weekend, as far as stakes races are concerned, Aqueduct will host 2 stakes races. Fairgrounds will have 3. Gulfstream will have 3 on Saturday. And Oaklawn Park, Santa Anita, and Turfway Park all come in with a feature race on Saturday as well. Sunday, just a couple of stakes races there. Gulfstream will have one, and so will Santa Anita. The coast-to-coast Pick 5 between Santa Anita and Gulfstream Park returns on Saturday. These are 5 races covering both racetracks. Their sequence will look like this on Saturday. The first in the coast-to-coast Pick 5 will be the 9th race at Gulfstream, then the 10th race at Gulfstream, followed by the 5th race at Santa Anita, and then back to Gulfstream for their 11th race. And the final race in the coast-to-coast Pick 5 will be the 7th race at Santa Anita. We'll, of course, update you as we get to Saturday as well. Coast-to-coast Pick 5 coming back between Gulfstream and Santa Anita on Saturday. But the post time for that particular bet at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon Pacific time. Coming up this week, as far as the now turned 3-year-olds in the spotlight, the glamour group, we got the San Vicente over at Santa Anita. And so without any further ado, I think we ought to get started on this race day show. We will be back with Jonathan Hardoon and your racing menu. Looking ahead, it looks like a pretty good weather. We'll wait and see about Aqueduct, though, but Jonathan will tell us about that. And, of course, he'll give us a pick or two for sure on that. Don't go away. Go to South Point Studio at YouTube and subscribe. We'll be right back.
Want to bet your favorite horse but can't make it to the racebook? South Point Casino's Racebook has the answer. Come in and sign up for the Nevada Racebook mobile app. For just a $50 minimum deposit, you'll have the racebook right at your fingertips, no matter where you are in Nevada. It's convenient, fun, and easy to use. When you do have time to visit, South Point Casino is the perfect place to be. Our racebook is completely separate from the sportsbook and totally dedicated to the horse player. With 52 overhead TVs, free Wi-Fi, and cocktail service. Bring your tablet or smartphone and plug into the USB ports to look up your favorite handicapping website without draining your battery. Want to wager from your seat? No problem with our IPTs. Just sign up, make a deposit, and you're off to the races. Plus, you'll earn points for dining, hotel, movies, entertainment, and the spa just by using the club card when wagering. Whether you want to come in or play from the comfort of your home, South Point Casino's Racebook has you covered.
All right, back on Race Day Las Vegas. A few other things to talk about now. The San Vicente, of course, I was telling you that that is one of the races for the 3-year-olds. But there is a race for 3-year-olds coming up that has leaderboard points for the Kentucky Derby. That's the Jerome. That'll happen on Saturday out at Aqueduct. It holds 10 points for the leaderboard in the Kentucky Derby race on the Kentucky Derby leaderboard. The Jerome on Saturday. And, of course, also on Saturday, not holding any Kentucky Derby points, but a race that a 3-year-old in this particular race, if he runs big, could get into the Kentucky Derby picture, and that's the San Vicente. It's at 7 furlongs at Santa Anita, and there is a field of 6 in that. From the rail out, Moonlit Sonata, then you have Slider, Muth, the Bob Baffert runner, son of Good Magic. Muth will lead from post 3. Pilot Commander, Formidable Man, and Voltage round out the 6 in the San Vicente. And they did invite horses now for the Pegasus World Cup coming up at the end of the month at Gulfstream Park. The invitation list looks like this. First Mission, Brad Cox trainee, second in the Clark. Grand Aspen, Todd Pletcher trainee, second in the Harlan's Holiday recently. Hoist the Gold, trained by Dallas Stewart, was the winner of the Cigar Mile, as you remember. Il Miracolo, Antonio Sano's horse, third in the Clark. National Treasure, Bob Baffert's runner, was second in the Breeders' Cup Mile. Then you had Newgrange for Phil D'Amato, first, just won the San Antonio opening week at Santa Anita. O'Connor, a winner of the Harlan's Holiday for Safi Joseph Jr. Then you have Brad Cox with another one in there, Saudi Crown. Saudi Crown finished 10th in the Breeders' Cup Classic, but you could throw that out. He's a lot more talented than that. Senor Buscador, Todd Fincher's trainee, who was second in the Cigar Mile. Skippy Longstocking, Safi Joseph Jr.'s horse that finished third in the Breeders' Cup Mile. Substanzador, John Sadler trainee, this highly rated Argentinian horse, finished fourth in the San Antonio in his American debut. And Trademark, Vicky Oliver trainee, Trademark the winner of the Clark. And those are the invitees for the Pegasus World Cup. Of course, there's a lot of reserve invitees as well. And, of course, the Pegasus World Cup turf was also, the invitation list was also out for that. We'll get to that maybe tomorrow on our tomorrow show. But we got to get to the menu of racetracks available right now in the Racebook simulcast centers and racetracks around the country. And don't forget, the first post times we broadcast on this menu each and every racing day are that of the Pacific time zone. So if you're listening here in Las Vegas, or you might be going to the Racebook here at the South Point, these will be the first post times that roll out in our Racebooks here in Las Vegas. We are in the Pacific time zone. If you're listening anywhere else, through all the different platforms that we have, and you're in another time zone, adjust to the Pacific time zone. I don't want you to miss anything, of course, like I miss Mom and Dad. So here we go. Here's the menu for today. We begin with Gulfstream Park. Gulfstream Park has a pick 6 jackpot carryover of $56,143. 9 races today, Gulfstream. First post time is at 9:10. Mahoning Valley Racecourse. They've got a pick 6 jackpot carryover of $2,599. They have 8 races, and their first post time is at 9:45. Aqueduct, the big A in New York. Well, let's see what they got there. It's mostly cloudy. The track will be fast. Temperature right around 41 degrees at post time. That at Aqueduct today. And their first post time at Aqueduct for 8 races is set at 9:50. 9:50 first post at Aqueduct today. The Fairgrounds in New Orleans. They've got 10 races today. Some full fields there as well. First post time at the Fairgrounds is at 10:45. 10:45 at the Fairgrounds today. Following that comes Turfway Park. Turfway Park has 9 races, still full fields there. They're doing well at Turfway. First post time is 2:55 at Turfway, and they've got a carryover in their pick 6 jackpot of $18,230. First post time Turfway Park for 9 races is set at 2:55. 2:55 there. Delta Downs, they've got 8 races. First post time 3:05 at Delta. And then we wrap it up at Charlestown. Charlestown races. First post time there is set at 4 p.m. for 8 races, and their carryover in their pick 6 jackpot, $1,695. That's your menu of racetracks available today around the country, and certainly here at the South Point in our racebook for sure. Let's bring in Jonathan Hardoon. What do you say? Jonathan, good morning.
Good morning, Ralph. How are you?
I'm kind of rejuvenated now. You know what I'm saying? I got a little energy back after that long run that we had between the Christmas holiday and New Year's. It was a lot of fun. Tremendous sporting activities all over the place. The town was packed, and now we're getting ready for the Super Bowl here.
Yeah, those college playoff games were pretty good, both of them on Monday. And those 2 days off, the last 2 days, certainly helped. You're right. We needed a refresher, and we got it, and we're going to come back strong today.
Now, Brad Cox had that catching freedom that won the Smarty Jones, which was a point getter for the Kentucky Derby on Monday out at Oaklawn Park. And it seems like he's getting ready to make plans for a lot of his 3-year-olds so they don't kind of run against each other on all these prep races around the country between Santa Anita, Fairgrounds, Oaklawn, New York, and Gulfstream, I would say.
Yeah, well, he's got a job just positioning himself where they don't run on top of each other and they don't cost each other points. On Saturday, he has a horse in the Jerome that's
Yeah.
worth points. A drum roll, please. Who will be 6-5 and deservedly so. He's certainly the horse to beat. It's a short field and he's breaking from the rail. He looks tough, and that that's the next one he has coming up, and I would assume he's going to get the points.
Well, here we go. We got a pick on Saturday already from Jonathan Nardoon.
Well, I have a connection to the horse, so I know. So
yeah, we like that connection to the horse too. There's no doubt about that, Jonathan. Eclipse Awards coming up. I already cast my ballot, and I know that I've seen some ballots out there from other of the gentlemen who and ladies who are fortunate enough to have a vote in this thing. Of course, 3 organizations: the Racing Forum, the broadcasters and writers, and of course, folks at NTRA voting panels. But who do you think should get Horse of the Year?
well, I know who's going to get it. It's going to be Cody's Wish. I don't know. It's a great story and everything else, but if you're looking at technical, if you want to be technical about it, he's only the 17th highest money earner of the year. So a lot of times, they pick the horse that earned the most money. But this is a different case. This was a feel-good story. It's not always stats that count, and he did a lot for the game, and he brought people to the game, and he became a fan favorite, and it's a terrific story, like we spoke about, and I think he's going to get Horse of the Year.
I would imagine with your phrase there and your comments that you probably think White Barrio should get it.
Well, I don't know if White Barrio should get it. White Barrio will probably get Older Horse of the Year. He only really won 2 big races. He won in Saratoga, and then he won the Classic. So that's got to count for something. But his entire body of work, it really wasn't that much, Ralph. He won a couple of races at the right time. So I don't know if he deserves Horse of the Year, but he'll probably get Older Horse of the Year. So.
Well, I don't know if you looked over my shoulder when I was voting, but you're pretty much on the mark of what I did. I could tell you this, that yes, I instead of looking at just the earnings, because some races, I mean, come on, the Saudi Cup's going to be $20 million. You just win,
exactly.
right? You know what I'm talking about. So money isn't I think the top barometer for it. It helps, but I looked at the entire body of work for the entire year. Also, how many Grade 1 participations and Grade 1 wins that these horses have had. And certainly the X factor was the side story that was great with Cody's Wish. So I voted for him as Horse of the Year. I had Wanda Barrio second, and I had the Belmont winner, Arcangelo, who also won the Travers, as my third selection in that category.
Well, Arcangelo probably should win 3-year-old of the year because, he won. He also, not a big body of work, but he won some really important races, but the interesting one to me, Ralph, was Jockey of the Year because, listen, off of the stats, obviously Irad should win it. I think he won 15 Grade 1s, which is like unbelievable. But Javier Castellano really had a terrific year. I mean, he won some big races at the right time. He won 2/3 of the Triple Crown. And I think that he certainly deserves some recognition for the terrific year he had.
Well, that's absolutely correct, but I did vote for Irad because of his, again, body of work across the nation. He went all over and did everything. Javier Castellano was, I think, he's a great rider, and I think his agent deserves a lot for placing him on these horses. I mean, look at what he did through the Triple Crown. His agent made the right selection with Mage, and they won the Kentucky Derby. And then he jumps off of Mage after he finishes not off the board, but didn't win the Preakness, so they weren't going for a Triple Crown. And then he picks up Arcangelo, who wins the Belmont, sticks with Arcangelo for the Travers. So his agent had a lot to do with it, I think. And Javier, of course, complied by giving great rides on these horses, and he's been riding exceptionally well. But I had to give it to Irad because he was all over the place
The
winning.
numbers are
Yeah,
the numbers are overwhelming. I mean, you win 15 grade ones and you win $39 million or whatever it was in purses. So obviously, if you're looking strictly at stats,
yeah.
no one could come close to him. But he also gets to ride a lot of horse. I bet he had a lot more mounts than Castellano had, and he
Oh,
certainly had a lot more of them in graded stakes. But again, it's a matter of opinion, and if you're looking strictly at numbers, you certainly voted for the right guy.
I can tell you that I think Tyler Gaffleone should get high recognition as well. This kid really broke out, I think, last year overall. And Flavian Pratt, what can you do with this guy? I mean, he's just he rides. He just shows up at racetracks that he feels he wants to ride at, and he's on the leaderboard in the jockey standings. It's amazing. This guy goes from Santa Anita. Well, let's try Keeneland. He goes to Keeneland. Let's try another place, and he winds up. He's just a talented, good rider.
He's a great rider, and he takes his talent on the road wherever he decides to ride. He's going to show how good he really is, and he did that again this year. That's the tough thing of voting for one guy in a category where you have a handful of jockeys that are really interchangeable. There's no difference if Irad's riding a
Sure,
horse or Pratt,
sure.
or even Tyler Gaffleone, like you said. So it's just a matter of really landing on the right thing. And it's a hard thing to do, to give out one award when you have all these great riders involved. But if you go strictly by the numbers, and that's, I guess, what you have to do, and, Irad's going to win it.
Female sprinter. What do you think?
Maybe Goodnight Olive.
Well, I voted for Echo Zulu only because all three of her starts were just absolutely jaw dropping. I mean, she just destroyed her fields, and I can say this, that we all know what happened with her. If she'd have kept racing, I think she would have continued to do what she did in her three last year. Goodnight Olive, I had as my second choice, and Maple Leaf Mel, another horse who is coming really with awesome wins, and found the same ending at Saratoga as Echo Zulu.
She didn't lose until she was forced, until
Yeah, yeah,
a catastrophe happened, really.
right.
So we'll never know how good she really could have been. But at that point in her career, she never did anything wrong. Every race she ran in, she won. So that's got to count for something.
Yeah, it sure does. Okay, I know what you think, and you probably know what I think when it comes to trainers, because as far as statistics are concerned, you got Steve Asmussen, you got Brad Cox, you've got Chad Brown. You can even throw in Todd Pletcher. These guys.
And you left the guy out that I like
Well,
best.
exactly. I was just going to say that. But in the end, this is where you sit there and you say body of work and all that stuff there. Go ahead.
I like Bill Mott. I just think that he had a terrific year. Listen, you have guys obviously like Cox that are certainly well deserving. Pletcher, even Baffert. I mean, you have Chad Brown. You have guys that just continue to do great work year in and year out. Bill Mott never really gets the credit, though, that he deserves. And I think he's a terrific trainer. I think he had an unbelievable year between Cody's Wish and the other. So he had another terrific sprinter. I can't think of the name right. Elite Power.
Elite Power,
He had
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he had some terrific. He had Casa Creed on the grass.
Yeah.
He just had, some really terrific performances by horses, and he never gets the credit that he deserves. And I think this year they will get it right and give him the award.
And he had a fantastic Saratoga meeting, too. He really
He's
did.
had a fantastic year, Ralph. He
Yeah.
really has. Going back to last Gulfstream, he just was winning at a high percentage, and he gets horses. He does the right thing by them. And he kind of flies under the radar for a guy that has such a great barn. He's not a loud man. He's not. He doesn't have. His personality is kind of quiet, I would say, and he's not loud like other trainers or whatever. But I think he deserves it, and I hope he wins it.
Well, I voted for Bill Mott as my top pick. I did vote for Bill Mott for all the reasons that we just talked about. I had Brad Cox in the 2-hole, and Steve Asmussen had a big year again in the 3-hole. So we'll wait and see if Bill Mott can pull it out and get that Eclipse award that he so deserves. I mean, he really does deserve that. I'll go through a couple of more, and then we'll wrap it up. But turf, filly, or mare?
That's a tough one. How about Moj? Did you like Moj at all?
I put Moij in third. I took Inspiral as the top pick because of her victory when
The
the
breeze.
big one. Yeah.
Right. Okay, it makes sense.
What about male turf horse?
Uh, I don't know. That's a tough one. Which one? Who did you pick, Ralph?
Well, I voted for now August Rodin, who won the Breeders' Cup turf. I put in the second spot because again I went for body of work throughout the year, and that had to go to up to the mark.
Oh yeah, you're right. That up to the mark. People are making a case for that horse to be horse of the year.
Right? I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right. That one I missed, but you're right about it. He was unbelievable. He really was, and he showed up every time. Ralph. He never ran a bad race.
No question about that. That's for sure. And a lot of these things, I take the vote. I put a lot of weight in the vote. I take it very seriously, and I know most of the voters take it seriously. And there are personal criterias for each voter. Like you say, you can just go to the statistics and just take the votes off of the statistics, and that helps. I know that grade one wins, I think, are important, or grade one participation for horses, and then the X factor, like with Belmont, I really thought he deserved it this year. So we'll wait and see. The Eclipse Awards, of course, a little bit later on. I think the later on this month or early February. I'm not sure what exact date it
I
is.
think it's January 25th is
25th?
the night that.
Oh,
I
that's right.
think so.
Is it before this big weekend for the
Pegasus.
Pegasus World Cup, right, down in Florida? You're correct. That'll be
Yeah.
that weekend there. But the voting has to be ending, I think it's by 3 o'clock Eastern time today for that.
You have to put other things into it besides just the stats, Ralph. Otherwise, there's no point in voting. They
Yeah.
could just feed the stats into a computer, and they'll give you. But there's another side to it besides just the numbers. I think.
Let's not get into computer feeding on today's show. Hey, we got 2 racetracks that you have sheets on. Actually, you got 3 sheets today, I believe, but 2 racetracks. You got Aqueduct and Gulfstream, right?
Yeah, who's the third? Did I miss something?
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? You sent me a sheet for Tampa Bay yesterday. That's right.
Yeah,
You had
we
3
bet it
sheets in
today?
the last. No, if we could bet it today, we'd be a Twilight Zone
We'd be
episode.
off the air in 5 minutes.
We'll be a Twilight Zone episode for that one. Okay, you got 2 sheets, Aqueduct and Gulfstream. Let's get some winners here.
Okay, let's look at Aqueduct 7th race today. It's 6 furlongs on the main track. And I like the number 2 horse in here, Cousin Christie. This is a 5-year-old mare from the James Bond barn. Louis Rivera aboard to ride. She's listed at 4-1 on the morning line. She's coming off of a freshening. She's an improving horse who's getting better with each start. She only has 6 career starts, but she's, again, on the improve. She's listed at 4-1 on the morning line. I like number 2, Cousin Christie, to win today's 7th race out at Aqueduct.
7th race at the Big A, number 2, Cousin Christie. The 2 in the 7th race, John Lindo's pick for us at Aqueduct. What about Gulfstream?
John Lindo's coming on later.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say Jonathan? Well, you know what? Here's the deal. John Lindo concurs with you. How about that?
Oh, okay, perfect.
He just gave me the high sign. He said he concurs with you. So you and John both like that horse. In any case, Gulfstream Park.
Let's look at race number 6 and the number 7 horse in here, War Officer, a 4-year-old colt from the Todd Pletcher barn, Jose Ortiz aboard to ride. This horse has 4 starts, switches to synthetic today for the first time. By the way, I think they have 5 synthetic races, so I'm up against it there. But Warfront horses have run extremely well when trying synthetic. 7-2 on the morning line, Jose Ortiz for Todd Pletcher. Number 7, War Officer, wins today's 6th race at Gulfstream Park.
All right, 6th race at Gulfstream. Number 7, War Officer, is Jerry J's pick for today. I got you that time, didn't I? He probably concurs with you too. In the 6th race, number 7, War Officer, of course, is Jonathan Dardoon. Jonathan Dardoon's played the 7 in the 6th race at Gulfstream. All right, Jonathan, I guess I need a little bit more rest than just the 2 days off. But in any case, we will talk to you tomorrow. And in the meantime, enjoy the day. How about the weather up where you're getting it? What are the weather predictions there?
It's trouble coming, Ralph.
Yeah.
They haven't had a snowstorm like this, they're saying, in 2 years. So hopefully, maybe it will be rain. Who knows? But doesn't look good at this point.
Okay. Well, we'll deal with it then. That's for sure. But thanks a lot, Jonathan, for your thoughts and opinions and your handicapping. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thank you, Ralph. Stay safe and be well.
All right. Don't forget, you can get his Gulfstream and Aqueduct sheets at his website. All right. We're going to come back with John Lindo, who's standing by. And we'll have a thought about what's going on down in Southern California, as well as John's thoughts about the Eclipse Awards as well. So don't go away. We'll be right back on this almost Thursday, Race Day Las Vegas show.
Born from the tragedy of 9/11, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation is committed to helping our nation's heroes and their families in their darkest hours. When a first responder or veteran doesn't return home and leaves behind a young family, Tunnel to Towers supports them. The foundation pays off their mortgages and lifts their financial burdens through their Gold Star Family Home Program and Fallen First Responder Home Program. Through their Smart Home Program, catastrophically injured veterans and first responders regain their independence with a mortgage-free home, specially adapted to meet their unique physical needs. Tunnel to Towers also provides housing assistance and services to our nation's homeless veterans through their Homeless Veteran Program. They are helping more than 2,000 in 2023 because no veteran should be living on the streets of the country they signed up to protect. Join Tunnel to Towers on its mission to do good and never forget 9/11 or the sacrifices made by our nation's heroes. Donate $11 a month at T2T.org. That's T2T.org.
Want to bet your favorite horse but can't make it to the racebook? South Point Casino's Racebook has the answer. Come in and sign up for the Nevada Racebook mobile app. For just a $50 minimum deposit, you'll have the racebook right at your fingertips, no matter where you are in Nevada. It's convenient, fun, and easy to use. When you do have time to visit, South Point Casino is the perfect place to be. Our racebook is completely separate from the sportsbook and totally dedicated to the horse player. With 52 overhead TVs, free Wi-Fi, and cocktail service. Bring your tablet or smartphone and plug into the USB ports to look up your favorite handicapping website without draining your battery. Want to wager from your seat? No problem with our IPTs. Just sign up, make a deposit, and you're off to the races. Plus, you'll earn points for dining, hotel, movies, entertainment, and the spa just by using the club card when wagering. Whether you want to come in or play from the comfort of your home, South Point Casino's Racebook has you covered.
All right, back on Race Day Las Vegas for this Thursday Race Day show. And now we're going to go out to Southern California where our man John Lindo is standing by. But, John, this better be the last day this week that we see you in Southern California.
Hey, good morning, Ralph. I'm headed out to Las Vegas this afternoon, so I'll join you in studio tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that and play some races this weekend at the South Point. So,
Yeah.
that's always a fun weekend.
Now, we hope to have you for not only tomorrow, but maybe throughout the weekend, whenever you can, before you head on south. You stop by in the studio, and we'll have a lot of fun, that's for sure. It's always nice to have our handicappers, when they're here in Vegas, here in studio with us, that's for sure. And we'll be waiting for you tomorrow. Eclipse Awards, we were talking about that earlier with Jonathan Hardoon. I voted for Cody's Wish for Horse of the Year over Wida Barrio and Arcangelo. Your thoughts about the Horse of the Year?
Well, I think Cody's Wish is a slam dunk just because of the human interest stories surrounding him. I thought the best horse I saw all year from January to December was Elite Power. I don't see sprinters winning Horse of the Year very often, but he would get my vote. I thought he was just fantastic and so powerful winning the Breeders' Cup Sprint. And you guys had talked about trainer Bill Mott, and he's the one I want to see get the Eclipse more than any horse or anything this year, because I think he did the best job January to December, 3 Breeders' Cup wins, and to get 2 horses to repeat in Breeders' Cups, that's really hard to do. Cody's Wish and Elite Power.
Yeah, no question about that. I did vote for him for both trainer and, of course, Elite Power for male sprinter. There's no doubt about that. The thing that I didn't talk about with Jonathan was, the 2-year-olds, which are now 3-year-olds, which are, in the glamour spotlight through the first Saturday in May for the Kentucky Derby. Obviously, I had to vote for Fierceness, winner of the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, not only because he won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, but he bounced back from a terrible race before that and he bounced back with authority. This was not a lucky win. This was a solid win by this horse, showing his potential, I guess, to grow up and be a 3-year-old. So I used him as my top pick for 2-year-old male. Muth, which is going to go this weekend in the San Vicente. I thought he did enough work to be a runner-up. And, of course, Big Evs, which was a horse that I thought had a lot of potential for the future as well as 2-year-olds. How do you see it?
Yeah, I think Fierceness is clear cut. He was dominant in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, and it helped explain why he ran so bad in the Champagne after winning his maiden race, like he was one of the top 2-year-olds in the nation. So he validated that on Breeders' Cup Day. We'll have to follow him, and we get to watch the whole Mike Rapoli, Todd Pletcher saga. Same thing happened with Forte the year before.
Yeah.
I hope they have a little smoother 3-year-old year this year with Fierceness.
But following that odyssey throughout this year is going to be a lot of fun. That's for sure. One way or the other is going to be a lot of fun. I didn't also mention the older dirt female, which of course is kind of an open affair because I don't think any really dirt female really overpowered that division. But I went for the winner of the Breeders' Cup Distaff in Idiomatic.
Yeah, I don't think she won pretty, but she won often, and that's the whole key. She got better as the year went along, and she was the best older filly on the dirt. I would put her right above Goodnight Olive and Echo Zulu. I think it was Idiomatic going 2 turns, and those other 2 fillies sprinting were very, very good. So they were the top 3 on dirt for me this year.
Yeah, no question about that. And as far as the 3-year-old filly, I had to take Pretty Mischievous. Because of her win in the Kentucky Oaks, and she was just solid all year.
Body of work. Pretty Mistress was very, very good. She was a tired filly by the Breeders' Cup, but she had done her work through the year. I don't think there's a question. She deserves the Eclipse Award.
Not even a question. I thought that as well. And of course, when you get into steeplechase horses, the Grand National means so much as far as steeplechase is concerned, etc. But I had to go for Irad for Jockey of the Year only because of, again, his body of work. The guy was all over the place.
He was really, I have a problem with some of the herding tactics that he uses, and it bothers me, but he is so good. And, $39 million in earnings set a new record for jockeys. I don't know how you vote against him. Like Jonathan said, you have to give a lot of credit to Javier Castellano. He resurrected his career. 2 years ago, he was just about dead in the water. And he has really come back and to win the Derby with Mage and win a number of big races throughout the year. He should at least be a finalist, which the finalists will be announced on Saturday. So I'm hoping at least Javier makes the final 3.
Yeah, he definitely deserves it. And he had like I said, his agent really deserves somehow an Eclipse Award as well for how he positioned his jockey, his talented jockey, on key horses at key times of the year and won key races. That's for sure. Trainer?
I guess Bill Mott to me,
yeah.
No doubt in my mind. He absolutely. If he doesn't win, I'm not going to be happy with the whole system.
Me neither. And I got to tell you that I know, there are bigger stats, earning stats, winning stats, et cetera, around the country with the volume of winners, et cetera, that he doesn't possess with some of the ones that have won the Eclipse Awards, several in the past, the Pletchers, the Asmussens, the Cox, et cetera, Bob Baffert. But wow, he really had a great year.
Yeah, on that topic, I don't think any trainer did more with what they had than Bill Mott.
Yeah, no question about that. Hey, John, what's going on in Southern California this week? I see we get the Coast to Coast Pick 5 back, and hopefully the weather will be nice in Southern California this weekend. I got to tell you that with all the caution that they had, with the rain that came through there, last weekend, et cetera, that track and the turf course really did well, held up well.
Well, we didn't get that much rain, so it wasn't a surprise that the courses were in good shape. It's just those protocols we have to go through.
Yeah.
And we're doing it again, Ralph. We got a little sprinkle Wednesday morning, so the track was closed yesterday. Because the track was closed yesterday, only joggers today. So that's 2 more days where the horses based at Santa Anita couldn't get any works in. The weather should be good all weekend. But, these stop and starts, I feel so bad for these horsemen, and it really needs to change. We're going to protocol ourselves to death out here if we're not careful, and we've made that very clear.
Well, I could tell you one thing right now, John. If these horses don't continue on a steady work pattern, a steady gallop pattern and exercising, when they get to put them in races and enter them in races, not being fit enough can be just as a deterrent to injuring a horse than actually any type of track condition they're trying to protocols against.
100%, Ralph. That's when you get horses who tie up after the race, and all those little things that people don't realize. How you get them to the races is more important than the race itself. You got to get them to where they can run their best. And the stop and starts really put the horseman behind the 8 ball.
San Vicente is going to look like a pretty good race. I guess it goes through Bob Baffert.
What else is new? Yeah. 6 horses in the San Vicente, 2 trained by Bob Baffert. I think Muth will probably be 2 to 5 in there. He cuts back to 7 furlongs out of the 2 route races. And I think that distance is really good for him. There's a little speed in there. He'll be a huge favorite in there, and it would be a major upset if he gets beat.
Well, John, I can't wait to see you in studio, of course, tomorrow, and have a safe trip up. And we'll talk to you tomorrow and start gearing it up for Santa Anita this weekend.
Yeah, and for the Linda Report Saturday, Ralph, we will include that coast-to-coast pick 5. It's a good sequence between the Golden Gate and Santa Anita races.
All right, that's a great deal. And, of course, the Linda Report available right here at the South Point, free of charge, every racing day in Southern California, and then some. Thanks a lot, John. Be safe.
All right, Ralph. See you tomorrow.
All right, we're going to be right back, and when we come back after this short break, we're going to have Jerry Jackowitz standing by. I wonder who Jerry Jackowitz would like to see Horse of the Year. We'll wait and see. Don't go away.
Want to bet your favorite horse but can't make it to the race book? South Point Casino's Racebook has the answer. Come in and sign up for the Nevada Racebook mobile app. For just a $50 minimum deposit, you'll have the racebook right at your fingertips, no matter where you are in Nevada. It's convenient, fun, and easy to use. When you do have time to visit, South Point Casino is the perfect place to be. Our racebook is completely separate from the sportsbook and totally dedicated to the horse player. With 52 overhead TVs, free Wi-Fi, and cocktail service. Bring your tablet or smartphone and plug into the USB ports to look up your favorite handicapping website without draining your battery. Want to wager from your seat? No problem with our IPTs. Just sign up, make a deposit, and you're off to the races. Plus, you'll earn points for dining, hotel, movies, entertainment, and the spa just by using the club card when wagering. Whether you want to come in or play from the comfort of your home, South Point Casino's Racebook has you covered.
The Race Day Las Vegas Show, the only exclusive daily local media racing information source in Las Vegas.
All righty, putting a capper on today's Almost Friday, Thursday Race Day show. I want to bring in Jerry Jackowitz from his office. Jerry, good morning.
Good morning, Ralph.
Well, we've been talking about the Eclipse Awards and all that, and the voting will cut off today, and I already got my ballot in. And who do you think should be Horse of the Year?
Jeez, boy, it's something like I give no thought to. I hate to say it. I know that, that fans love to talk about this stuff. Probably the 2-year-old who, what was his name? I keep forgetting his name. Who won the Breeders' Cup Junior.
I can't remember.
He's probably not eligible, but he was the best.
Right. The 2-year-old was Fierceness.
Fierceness, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know why I have trouble with that.
Well, he will get the 2-year-old Eclipse Award.
Right, but to me, he's the Horse of the Year also. I mean,
really,
if you did if you did it on a one race thing, I mean, otherwise.
What about the body of work of Cody's Wish and White Barrio winning the Breeders' Cup Classic?
Yeah, I think Cody's Wish is a really nice horse. He's a tremendous sprinter, but he didn't run. So he's certainly better than all the other sprinters, but I don't think they were the greatest group of all time. Who else are you thinking about? He's certainly one of the most consistent horses you'll ever see, Cody's Wish. I mean, that which in itself is a skill or a quality of a horse that you really want to look for as much as you can. It's very rare to see the kind of success that he's had over and over again. And it's interesting that the horses that Bill Mott has, he's probably the master at consistency compared to almost anybody I've ever seen.
Now, I got to tell you, I voted for Bill Mott for Trainer of the Year because I think of exactly what you said. I mean, I think he had a great year this year, and he's a hell of a horseman. And to keep horses of that quality at such a high level, to run those races over and over again throughout the entire year at different racetracks, et cetera, is really a testament to his talent as a trainer.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, of course, now, you know, it's already over 20 years ago, but we remember Cigar. You and I remember Cigar so well. And he won, I believe, 16 in a row. And it's like impossible to do that. Even the great Secretariat couldn't string that kind of win streak together. You know, you look at the best horses of all time, and to be able to win 7, 8, 9, 10 races in a row is literally almost impossible.
Yeah.
And yet we had Cigar go 16. Cody's Wish won a whole bunch in a row. And so I like that. I kind of like, you know, voting for a guy simply because he had the best horse is not necessarily making him the best trainer. I think Bill Mott deserves it. That's surely.
I think when it comes to the human athletes for Eclipse Awards, it should be really the body of work and not the champion horses that they may have ridden. It's got to be the body of work of the person, of the individual.
Right. I agree with that. I'd say, Ralph, that was a good selection. I'm proud of you.
Well, it's only one person's vote. You know that, and we all know that everybody. There's got to be more votes than anybody else to get it. But in any case, I just feel privileged to be a voter. That's for sure. Jerry, there's racing at Aqueduct today, and I understand that from Jonathan that's just good. And the weatherman, that unless the weatherman is completely wrong, there's going to be some horrendous weather going through New York later on this week.
Yeah, but my weather man says it'll probably miss Aqueduct until it'll probably come in. So we'll see. Picking horses is hard.
Yeah.
Judging the weather in New York trumps that.
Yes, no question about that. And I know that by virtue of talking with you a lot of years when the weather conditions appear to be off on the East Coast, you always said that the racetrack there seems to dry out and get really, dries out and gets to being almost
right. Well, they use a surface. I guess it's a winterized surface, a version of the winterized surface they use all year round now. It's got a lot of lime in it and stuff. I guess that helps it drain a little bit. Makes it tighter. I'm not sure.
All right, we need some picks at Aqueduct. Let's go.
Okay, well, I think we got some good ones there. A little bit on the low price side. In the fifth race, I like Big Engine. This 9-year-old for David Jacobson sort of started to show something back in the end of November. Ran really well in December. I liked him the other day. They scratched him for this spot. I like the threes. Listen 2-1 morning line. I'll go down to 3-2. That's as far down as I'll go. Okay. Excuse me for a minute. But I like the 3 with the 1, 6, 7, and 9.
3 over 1, 6, 7, and 9. Again, fifth race at Aqueduct, the 3 over 1, 6, 7, 9, and reverse $2 ROI on the 3 in the fifth race. That's the anchor in the early pick 4 and early pick 5. Bonus play?
Yeah, we'll go to the eighth race. When I wrote it into to the people, I said the ninth race, but I meant the eighth race. There is no ninth race today.
Okay, go.
The eighth race is our exit race. I'm going to take the 3. I'm going to take the 4, the Mighty Don. For Bobby Falcone, lightly raced horse, showed a lot of speed in both of his last 2 races. This time I'm thinking he's going to put it together on the class drop. So we're going to take the 4. He's 3-1 morning line. I probably would stay above 2-1 here. I'll take the 4 over the 3, 5, 7, 9, do my reverses.
All right, 3, 5, 7, 9. 4 over 3, 5, 7, 9, and the 4, of course, with the link ups and a reverse. That's the 8th race at Aqueduct. Power Pages. Jerry J's Power Page is available at jerryjspowerpage.com. All righty. Well, Jerry, go get your second cup of coffee and all that good stuff. In any case, there you go. We'll wrap up this Almost Friday show and be back on Friday. So go ahead and say it, Jerry.
Have a great race day, everybody.
See you tomorrow.